On day 1, I spawned in a SpongeBob. Oh no, I forgot. I gotta get ready for work. Wow, look at the Bikini Bottom. It all looks so cool. I got to the Krusty Krab and said hello to both Squidward and Mr. Krabs.
Ahoy, matey! Whatever, SpongeBob.
Right before I can get started, an explosion happened. Plankton broke into the restaurant and started to yell at us.
Krabs, I will have that recipe if it's the last thing I do.
You'll never get the recipe, Plankton.
I'm going to blow this place sky high to get it. No, not me money.
Plankton blew up the Krusty Krab. It sent me flying straight out of the Bikini Bottom. On day 2, I landed in a strange area I'd never seen before. Who's gonna feed Gary? Oh no, I gotta find him before it's too late. I was surrounded by trees and I wasn't sure where I should start. I decided to chop some of the trees down to make a crafting table. Next, I used some of the wood to craft a set of wooden tools. Suddenly, I heard a scream that was close by. Oh no, I think that's Patrick calling for help. I ran toward where his voice was coming from. Finally, I saw Patrick, and he was being chased by a fish monster. I jumped in to help him and started fighting him with my sword. He hit me, but look at that. I think I had natural resistance. Wow, I guess being a sponge really does have its benefits. A few more good hits, and down he went. Patrick, pal, are you okay?
SpongeBob? Boy, am I glad to see you. I was under my rock eating mayonnaise when suddenly I shot sky high to here.
Same, buddy. We need to make our way back to Bikini Bottom.
Also, I found this while I was out there.
Patrick threw me a piece of paper in a bottle. Wait a second. Not just any piece of paper. It was the Krabby Patty secret formula. Wow. Good find, buddy. We can't let Plankton get a hold of this, or who knows what's gonna happen. We made our way back in the direction of the Bikini Bottom. On day 3, Patrick and I were on our way back to Bikini Bottom when suddenly we spotted Doodle Bob. How did he get here? And what is he up to? Me hoy, me noy hoy. Doodle Bob ran up to a fish and used his pencil to trap him in a drawing. Whoa, that thing seems really powerful. What could he possibly want with that fish? We didn't have time to worry about it now though, so we went around him and made our way toward Bikini Bottom. Finally, we arrived, but it was in total ruins. Most of the buildings were partially destroyed. We returned to where our houses were, and my pineapple was on fire. I put the fire out and started to rebuild it with some of the wood and stone I'd gathered. Inside my pineapple, I used some of my leftover wood to craft a chest and hide the recipe inside of it. Wow, it feels like we're starting to get some stuff back to normal. The rest of the Bikini Bottom was definitely going to need to be rebuilt as well. On day 4, I decided it was time to return to the Krusty Krab to see what was left of it. I made my way down the road and eventually got there. I noticed across the street the chum bucket was completely undamaged from Plankton's explosion, but the Krusty Krab was in ruins. I made my way into Mr. Krab's vault to see if anything had survived the explosion, but there was no money left. Luckily, in one of the chests, I found my trusty stone spatula. Wow, I was really starting to miss this. I also found some bread, which was great because I was starving. I then searched the freezer to see if there are any ingredients so I can use my bread to make a Krabby Patty, but to my surprise, all the ingredients were missing. They must have been blown away in the explosion as well. Oh man. As I was getting ready to leave, a robot golem showed up at the Krusty Krab. He must be one of Plankton's creations. The golem attacked me, but luckily, I found my spatula. I was able to use it and take him down. Wow, that was close. I headed back toward my pineapple to go to bed for the night. On day 5, I had the strangest dream. I was in front of a giant chum bucket with a huge robotic Plankton.
SpongeBob, I told you I would get the Krabby Patty formula. Now the world is mine.
You will never get the secret formula, Plankton. I won't let you.
It is too late, SpongeBob. I have it, and I was able to engineer it so that all of the Bikini Bottom is now under my control.
I looked around, and he was right. All the fish were wearing mind control chum buckets, being controlled by Plankton.
All hail Plankton.
You are sick, Plankton. Bikini Bottom will never be yours. I'm gonna stop you.
Sorry, SpongeBob, but the world is already mine. You're too weak. Attack!
A group of robot withers appeared behind Plankton, and they attacked me. I woke up. Oh no, Plankton, he has the formula. I rushed to the chest to see if the formula was there. Luckily, though, it was. I can't let Plankton get a hold of this. I think it'll be better if I keep it on myself than hide it in this chest. I better be careful. On day 6, I searched the rest of Bikini Bottom to see if Gary or anyone else had made their way back. I looked all over, but couldn't find anyone. I even went to the jellyfish fields and saw there were no jellyfish anywhere. Wow, where did they all go? I decided to start looking elsewhere to see if I can find Gary. I traveled through a forest biome and noticed something orange. I ran up and saw it was a piece of my pineapple that had gone missing. I quickly used my spatula to mine up the piece. Now I can rebuild my pineapple to its original glory. Right when I was getting ready to return to my base though, I heard a group of sheep calling for help. I saw they were being attacked by a group of jellyfish. That's where all of them went. I jumped into action to help the sheep. I started to fight them off with my spatula, but their stings hurt. They seemed to be able to penetrate my resistance. After a few more hits, I was able to take all of them down. Whoa, that was a close one. Are you guys okay? I decided to take the sheep back to the Bikini Bottom with me. When I arrived, I made them a quick pen right next to my pineapple. Afterwards, I took the time to fully repair the pineapple with the missing piece I'd found. Wow, I'm so glad I found that. It was getting pretty late, so I went to sleep for the night. On day 7, I woke up to the sound of screaming outside. I ran out and saw Doodlebob. Hey, Doodlebob, what are you doing?
SpongeBob bad. Doodlebob good. People like Doodlebob more.
It seemed like he was upset because people like me more than him. You won't make a lot of friends by kidnapping them, you know?
Make on Bikini Bottom. Everyone love Doodle there.
Doodlebob then drew a mob using his pencil, and he began attacking me. He was tough. He summoned kelp from the ground, which did damage. A few good hits from my spatula, and down he went. Wow, Doodlebob is super powerful with that pencil. He mentioned he's creating his own Bikini Bottom, so that people are gonna like him. I'm gonna have to find it. I was really sad about the Krabby Patties and how all the ingredients had gone missing. I decided I would preserve them in a statue. I used the wood I had left over to work on the bun, and knew I would need to gather some of the wool to create the rest of the Krabby Patty. That was another day's story though. First, I really need to find Gary and Doodlebob's base. On day 8, I traveled back to the strange world in search of Gary and Doodlebob's Bikini Bottom. I knew both of them had to be somewhere out here. I searched a few biomes, but was not able to find either of them. I was starting to give up hope when suddenly the king jellyfish approached me. He was angry that he was not at the jellyfish fields anymore and seemed to blame me for it. I told him that we all got separated, but I can sure take him back. He started to look very angry though. Oh no, I have to run. I ran away, and while I was running back to Bikini Bottom, I ran directly into a piece of Patrick's house. Wow, how convenient. My friend is gonna be so happy with this. I mined the piece of his house and took it back to Bikini Bottom. Hey Patrick, look what I have.
Is it my mayonnaise collection?
No, buddy, but hopefully we can find that too. It's a piece of your house.
Oh boy, that's great.
We got to work rebuilding Patrick's house. Wow, look at that. It looks so good. On day 9, I woke up and decided I should go find some more material. I wanted to find Gary so badly, but I was worried I was not strong enough because of the king jellyfish. But I traveled into a cave in search for iron. I was able to find some. With the iron, I was able to upgrade my spatula to iron. Wow, check it out. It's so shiny now. I used the other iron I had found to make myself some iron boots and pants. As I was getting ready to leave, I was attacked by a group of zombies in the cave. What are these monsters? I fought back against them using my spatula. My resistance helped. Whoa, that was a close one. But then I realized I'd eaten my last piece of bread from the Krusty Krab. I left the cave and started to punch some of the grass to collect seeds so I can start a farm. Once I had enough seeds, I gathered a bunch of dirt and returned home to my pineapple. I used the dirt to lay the foundation for my farm. Since I was underwater, the water filled the holes next to the dirt without me having to use a bucket. I then crafted a stone hoe with some of my leftover stone and wood. I used the hoe on the dirt so it can plant the seeds. Now all I need to do is wait a little, and I'll have a ton of bread. On day 10, I traveled back into the world in search of Gary and Doodlebob. I was looking through a desert biome when I saw Squidward.
Leave me alone, you freak. I will get that recipe from you, Squidward.
I jumped in to stop Plankton. I used my spatula to flip him away from Squidward.
Curses, SpongeBob. I will get that formula from you if it's the last thing I do.
He ran off. Suddenly, a villager walked up.
Shut up!
The villager ran away scared, and I asked Squidward if he was okay.
SpongeBob, that lunatic thinks I have the Krabby Patty formula.
He explained to me that after the explosion, Plankton has been chasing him all over the world, trying to get the formula from him. Ah, shucks, buddy. I'm sure glad you're okay.
I am not your buddy, SpongeBob.
Me and my best friend Squidward returned to the Bikini Bottom, and I helped him rebuild his base. Luckily, nothing was missing from his house, and we were able to easily put it back together.
The secret ingredient for the Krabby Patties is still missing, but worse, my clarinet, it's missing too.
Don't worry, friend. We'll get them both back. On days 11 to 12, I set out in search of the secret ingredient as well as Gary. I miss Gary so much. While I was searching, I came across a very scared baby cow. As I approached the cow, she ran off terrified. I was about to catch up to the cow and explain I was just trying to help. She told me that someone who looked like me attacked her village and she was separated from her family. This must be Doodlebob. He's attacking people in this world as well as the Bikini Bottom. I need to stop him. The cow and I searched the forest and were able to find the other cows. I reunited her and her parents, and they were very grateful. I explained to all of them that it was not me, but a monster that looked exactly like me. I asked the cows if they could tell me where their village was, and they pointed me in the right direction. I set off towards the village. On days 13 to 14, I arrived at the village and saw all the villagers were all completely trapped inside of drawing cells. I rushed up to the villagers and explained it was not me, but a monstrous drawing of myself. The villagers were relieved and explained that Doodlebob had returned and continued to take them back to his base. I tried to search the village for anything that could help break them out of their prisons, but the village was completely looted. I tried to use my spatula on the cells, but was unable to break it. I felt bad, but I had to leave the villagers trapped. I knew when I had Doodlebob's pencil, I would return and free these villagers. I returned home and talked to Patrick about what Doodlebob was doing.
We need to stop him, SpongeBob. Think of the mayonnaise.
The mayo can wait, buddy. We'll have to find his base and steal his pencil. First things first, we need to find out exactly where he lives. Since Squidward was back, I needed to expand my farm so we would have enough food while we waited to find the Krabby Patty ingredients. On days 15 to 16, I woke up and went outside, and I saw Plankton in a hot air balloon. No doubt he was trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula. He flew overhead, and he started to drop TNT on my pineapple. It blew the roof clean off. You'll pay for that, Plankton. There's no way you'll get that formula from me.
That's where you're wrong, SpongeBob. The formula will be mine.
He started to drop another TNT, but before he could, a large gust of air hit his balloon and sent him flying the other way. Haha, Plankton, you'll never get this.
But I do have something more valuable to you than that formula.
What could he mean by that? After Plankton's attempt to steal the formula was so close, I knew I needed to get stronger and more upgrades. I set off to the mines to hopefully find enough iron to complete my armor set. I crafted myself an iron chestplate as well as an iron helmet. Finally, my iron armor set was complete. I returned home and gathered some of my wheat so that I would have food on my journey to Doodlebob's Bikini Bottom. On days 17 to 18, I was out searching for Doodlebob's base when I was attacked by the king jellyfish. But I was stronger than I was before. With my new armor, his stings dealt less damage, and I was able to fight back much better. I was able to take him out. Suddenly, I changed. Whoa, I have my jellyfishing outfit now, and I had 15 hearts. I definitely thought I was ready to take on Doodlebob now. I continued to search, and I ran into a fish who was running away in a hurry. Hey, slow down, man. What's the rush? The fish explained to me that he had been captured by Doodlebob, but was able to break free. Do you know where his base is? He pointed me in the right direction. I thanked him and set off toward Doodlebob's base. On days 19 to 20, I arrived at Doodlebob's base. The first thing I noticed was there was a drawn version of my pineapple. Doodlebob wasn't kidding. He's making his own Bikini Bottom. I looked around and noticed there were fish trapped in drawn prisons. Oh no, this isn't good. Just then, Doodlebob came out of his pineapple and he walked up to one of the fish. He threw him one of the nastiest looking Krabby Patties I'd ever seen. Eat now! He forced the fish to eat it, and suddenly the fish died. Doodlebob looked very angry that he didn't like the Krabby Patty and stormed off. I made my way to the fish, making sure Doodlebob was still gone, and tried to break them out using my spatula again, but it was no use. I promise I'll get you guys out once I'm able to get the pencil away from Doodlebob, okay? The fish told me they were starving, and I knew I had to do something about this. I'm gonna come back with food for you guys. You have my word. I set off back toward my base. On days 21 to 23, I returned to my Bikini Bottom and started to think of a way I can make all the fish food. I wasn't sure how it was even gonna be possible.
Oh, you should make them all pizza. Everyone loves pizza.
That's a great idea, buddy. I should get started right away. I went to the farm and gathered as much wheat as I could. I put the wheat into the furnaces. I knew I would have to wait a little while for the pizzas to be done cooking. In the meantime, I decided to add a bunch of chests to my base so I would have more storage for the items I would be collecting on my journey. Next, I started to work on my Krabby Patty statue. It was really starting to come together. Once I finished my statue, the pizzas were all done cooking. I grabbed them and I was getting ready to set off when I realized I wanted someone to come with me. I asked my best friend Squidward to come, and he was very reluctant at first, but eventually he decided he'll go along for the journey.
If it means you will shut up for a minute.
That's the spirit, Squidward. We set off toward the villages and Doodlebob's Bikini Bottom. On days 24 to 26, Squidward and I made our way across the villages I'd seen and delivered each of them pizza so they would have food while they were trapped. There were so many villages already affected by Doodlebob, and I knew I had to put an end to this madness. As we were making our way to Doodlebob's base, we were suddenly ambushed by robot golems again. The golems started to attack us. Thankfully, I upgraded my spatula to iron, and I was able to take them down with it. We made our way to Doodlebob's base and made sure the coast was clear. He was nowhere in sight, so we used the opportunity to deliver the final pizza to the fish. Here you go, guys. This should keep you fed while we figure out a way to free you. The fish were extremely grateful, and I was getting ready to leave, but one of the fish stopped me. He threw me a bunch of seeds for some of the Krabby Patty ingredients. Wow, we're one step closer to making Krabby Patties again. We headed home, knowing that all the prisoners would be well fed for now. On days 27 to 29, Squidward and I returned home to our houses, and I got to work expanding my farm. Next, I made sure to plant as many of the lettuce, onion, and tomatoes as I could. Patrick came up to me and told me that he had seen this massive factory pop up in Bikini Bottom. I knew that this had to be from Plankton, so I quickly made my way over there. The building looked like a giant burger factory. He must be trying to get ready in case he was able to steal the formula. I made my way inside and was attacked by a giant flying robot. The robot started to shoot particles at me, but they weren't that hard to avoid. I tried to use my spatula when I got close, but he was able to knock me back. I knew I would have to be fast and hit him quickly. I rushed into him and finally was able to get a good flip on him. I heard a familiar meowing. Gary? Is that you? I saw Gary was trapped in a cage hanging from the ceiling. You too, buddy. I quickly broke Gary out, and we made our way back to the base. We made our way inside our pineapple, and I made Gary his own bed. I was so excited to finally be reunited with him. On days 30 to 32, I rushed outside and saw Plankton with a giant Krabby Patty monster.
I was trying to create my own Krabby Patties, but I made this instead. Look, and my masterpiece.
Plankton, what have you done? It's a mutant Krabby Patty.
Get the recipe for me.
The mutant Krabby Patty attacked me. He was incredibly strong. The mutant Krabby Patty attacked my pineapple and started to destroy it. No, stop! Just then, Doodlebob showed up. He jumped in and he erased the Krabby Patty with his pencil.
Curses, Doodlebob. The recipe was almost mine.
SpongeBob, mine to destroy. Me hoi me noi hoi.
Plankton fled, with Doodlebob chasing after him. I took the moment to rebuild the destroyed parts of my pineapple. Wow, that was a close one. I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank goodness for Doodlebob. On days 33 to 35, I woke up and realized I needed more upgrades in order to defeat Plankton and Doodlebob. I headed out and found a cave to look for diamonds. After a bit of searching, I found a huge mine shaft. Whoa, look at this place. I was about to give up hope when I found some. I mined them quickly and used them to upgrade my diamond spatula. It was a good thing I upgraded it as well, because I was then attacked by a group of robot endermen. Of course, Plankton was still creating more robots to try and steal the formula. They were quick and attacked fast. After a bit of fighting, I took them down. Get flipped, guys. I returned home to my base, and Gary was waiting outside the pineapple for me. Hey, Gary, what's going on? Gary, that's amazing. We'll be one step closer to making Krabby Patties again. On days 36 to 38, I came across another village, but this village was different. It was completely drawn. I entered the village and was looking to find more villagers that were trapped, but none of them were. They were all drawings. The drawing villagers spotted me. They started to attack, and I tried to use my spatula, but I was unable to damage them at all. Oh no, this isn't good. I had no choice but to run away. Things are definitely starting to get worse with Doodlebob. I need to find a way to steal his pencil so I can erase all of his drawings and reverse this, and started looking for any signs of the diver who took the seeds like Gary had mentioned. I then came across a fishing workshop. This must be where he lives. I made my way inside and started to look through the chests. I found them. The Krabby Patty bun seeds. Score! I made my way outside to return home when the diver showed up. He started to attack me, summoning diver drowns. The drowns are no problem for me, but the diver was fast, and right when I thought I defeated him, he made it start raining, which regained his health. Oh no, this guy's super tough. I continued to fight and finally was able to bring him down. Just then, I felt myself change, and I finally became the Hall Monitor. I had 20 hearts. Awesome. I started to make my way back to Bikini Bottom. On days 39 to 41, I was making my way through a forest on my way back to Bikini Bottom when something jumped out at me.
Oh, SpongeBob, I am glad to see you.
Sandy, you look, different.
I'm not sure what you mean, SpongeBob. This is how I've always looked. I was trying to get back to Bikini Bottom, but I got lost.
I'm actually headed there right now. I could take you with me if you want. Before we returned, we stopped to grab some sand because I knew we would need some glass to repair Sandy's tree dome. We returned home to Bikini Bottom, and we rebuilt the part of Sandy's tree dome that was destroyed from Plankton's blast. I then went and added some more dirt to my farm and planted all the Krabby Patty bun seeds I had, one step closer to Krabby Patties. I then returned to Sandy and explained to her that Plankton would stop at nothing to steal the formula from me. Sandy told me that she had a plan for him.
I think we can make a rocket and trick him into it. Then we can send him to the moon and he won't bother us ever again.
That's a great idea, Sandy.
I also heard about this cheese biome that might solve the Krabby Patty cheese problem. If you bring me iron for my rocket, I'll tell you where I think it is.
Of course, Sandy wants me to get things before helping me. On days 42 to 44, I set off to a cave to find as much iron as I could. Once inside, I started to mine all the iron I can see. Along the way, I found a few diamonds, which I used to make a pair of diamond pants and diamond chest plate. I was starting to feel like nothing could stop me. me. I returned home to Sandy's tree dome and gave her all the iron I found while in the caves.
This is a great start, SpongeBob.
Now, can you tell me about the cheese biome?
Of course. It's not too far from here, actually.
Sandy explained to me where the cheese biome was and talked about the cheese cows that inhabited the area. I thanked her and got ready for my journey. Before I set off, I decided to work on my Krabby Patty statue. Even though we were getting closer to finishing the Krabby Patties for real, I wanted to make sure I had something to remind everyone how good they were. Before I left, I collected some of the regular wheats and used it to create bread for my journey. I said goodbye to Gary and headed off. On days 45 to 46, I arrived at the cheese biome. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. I started looking around when I spotted a herd of cheese cows. I approached the cheese cows and explained to them that I was trying to find cheese for my Krabby Patties and how they would be a big help. They explained to me that they were being attacked by someone who looked identical to me. They must be talking about Doodlebob. They said that not too far from here, he was capturing cheese cows and taking them somewhere else. I set off to find him. I hadn't traveled very far when I saw the cheese cows trapped in a drawing with Doodlebob. Hey, leave the cows alone.
SpongeBob, bad.
He started to attack me using his pencil, but it seemed like it wasn't as effective because of my diamond armor. I realized maybe my spatula would be able to hurt him now. I flipped him over, and to my surprise, he dropped the pencil. Before he can get it, I picked it up. I was getting ready to try and erase him, but he ran off. Barnacles. I almost had him. I used a pencil and was able to erase the bedrock that was trapping the cheese cows. The cows were extremely grateful and thanked me. Some of them agreed to return to Bikini Bottom with me so I can use the cheese they produced for the Krabby Patties. Wow, thanks guys. Together, we set off back toward Bikini Bottom. On days 47 to 50, I returned to Bikini Bottom and headed to the Krusty Krab. I started to create a pen for the cheese cows. I used some of my wheat to give them a few hay bales so they would have something to eat. I then started to realize how close to making Krabby Patties again we were. I was really excited, but then it hit me. I knew nothing about running a business. Who was gonna operate the Krusty Krab while I made the Krabby Patties? I needed to find Mr. Krabs. So I started to search the Krusty Krab to see if Mr. Krabs is anywhere. I went to the vault where he would always count his money, but didn't find him. I started to look in the freezer, but he wasn't there either. I then searched his house to see if maybe he would return home, but he also wasn't there. I didn't know where he was. I made my way back to the Krusty Krab when I thought I heard Mr. Krabs. I heard the distinct sound of a penny rolling on the floor, followed by
Money.
Plankton must be holding Mr. Krabs in the chum bucket. I made my way over to the chum bucket and got ready to go inside. On days 51 to 53, I entered the chum bucket. It felt cold and laboratory-like. Nothing like the Krusty Krab, that's for sure. I started to look around for any sign of Mr. Krabs when a robot started to attack me. I was ready for him though. I started to fight back using my spatula and eventually he went down. I went deeper into the chum bucket and I finally found him. Mr. Krabs!
SpongeBob, get me out of here!
I was unable to break the cage he was in, but realized there might be a key to unlock it. I then noticed a chest that was labeled not key for cage chest. So I decided to open it, and it had the key. Wow, I guess that sign sure was misleading. I ran back to free Mr. Krabs, and we started to make our way to the exit when Plankton showed up in a robotic suit.
Where do you think you're going, SpongeBob?
Out of this terrible place you call a restaurant. Plankton tried to trap us, but we were able to dodge it. I then used my spatula to knock him out of the mech so we could run for the exit.
Curses, Krabs! I will have that formula!
On days 54 to 56, Mr. Krabs and I made our way back to the Krusty Krab.
SpongeBob! The Krusty Krab is in ruins!
Don't worry, Mr. Krabs. I have the material to build it back to its original glory. We spent some time rebuilding it, and it looked as good as new.
Good as new, SpongeBob! Me money was taken when I was blown away!
Oh no, how are we gonna survive without your money?
Magician took all me money! He's somewhere in the dark forest I landed in!
Well, don't worry, Mr. Krabs. I can go back and get your money, and I'll bring it back to you. I mean, we're gonna need it to run the Krusty Krab, right?
That's the spirit, me boy! I'm not paying you for this either! Take this! I found it in Plankton's chum bucket!
Mr. Krabs threw me a potion of swiftness. That's more than enough payment for me.
Good! Now double time, SpongeBob! Time is money!
I drank the potion and ran off towards the dark forest to find that magician and get Mr. Krabs' money back. On days 57 to 59, I made my way into the dark forest biome and I came across the theater in the woods. Oh no, this has to be where the magician lives. I made my way inside and the theater was completely empty except for a magician standing on the stage. No, I'm actually here to get my boss's money back. And he's not paying me for this, so can we get this done in a hurry? The magician started to attack me. He threw cards at me, and I had to avoid them. I tried to attack him, but then he went invisible. He moved around the theater, pulling bunnies from his hat, and they started to attack me too. Every time I fought them off, he would pull more out to attack me. So I had to pull out Doodlebob's pencil and use it on him. I completely erased him from existence. I felt myself starting to feel strange. And whoa, I'm ripped, and I have anchor arms. I searched the magician's theater and found the theater's back room. It was filled with gold blocks. This must be Mr. Krabs' money. I mined all of it up and started to make my way back to Bikini Bottom. On days 60 to 62, I returned to the Krusty Krab and helped Mr. Krabs to load all of his money into his vault.
Don't get any ideas, SpongeBob. This is my money.
Of course not, Mr. Krabs. Just happy we're back together in the Krusty Krab. I then headed to Sandy's tree dome to see how the rocket was coming along. Sandy told me she was going to need a lot more iron and some redstone to power the rocket. I headed back into the mines and mined all the redstone and iron I could find. I even found a few more diamonds. I used the diamonds to finish my diamond armor and then headed back to Sandy's. Sandy and I started to work on the rocket and it really seemed to be coming together. I figured this is a good time to work on my Krabby Patty. It looks great now, but just wait until it's fully done. I returned to the Krusty Krab to see if Mr. Krabs needed anything else while I had some free time. I asked Mr. Krabs if he had any idea where we can get patties for the Krabby Patties.
Of course I do, SpongeBob. I always get me patties from the ancient patty mines, not too far from here.
An ancient patty mine? Okay, I'm not gonna ask any questions. Mr. Krabs gave me the coordinates, and I set off to the mine to grab as much of the patty ore as I could.
I'm not paying you for this either.
On days 63 to 65, I made my way to the ancient patty mine that Mr. Krabs had described. I was inside and saw a massive lava pit. It looked like there were structures I could jump to, so I was really careful and made my way across the lava pit, carefully jumping from structure to structure. On the other side, I found a ton of patty ores. I started to mine them, and they dropped, minced meat? Okay. I didn't know Krabby Patties came from the ground, but I guess that's why they're so delicious. Once I had mined all the Krabby Patty ore I could find, I headed back home to Bikini Bottom. When I arrived at the Krusty Krab, it was under attack by Doodlebob and some of his drawings. I took out my pencil and began erasing as many of them as I could, turning them back to normal fish. Before I could erase all of them, one of them destroyed part of the Krusty Krab.
Me hoi me noi me hoi me noi. SpongeBob bad, Doodle good.
He ran back to his own version of Bikini Bottom. I started to rebuild the Krusty Krab. It felt like we had just finished it, and now we're rebuilding. Wow. No matter. I restored it to the sweet, greasy glory it was. It was getting late, though, so I went to bed, knowing I would get Doodlebob tomorrow. On days 66 to 68, I woke up and prepared to go to Doodlebob's Bikini Bottom and put an end to him once and for all. I set out on my journey to his base, and along the way, stopped to free all the fish and villagers that I came across. All of them were so appreciative that I came back for them and freed them like I had promised. Don't sweat it, guys. I made my way to Doodlebob's base and was getting ready to free the fish when Doodlebob himself showed up.
SpongeBob, Doodle wants friend.
This is a bad way to get friends, Doodlebob. If you were just nice to people, they would want to be your friends as well.
No.
Doodlebob attacked me, and I started to fight back against him. I took out the pencil and used it on him.
Ah!
I looked and noticed part of his face was erased. I ran at him, trying to finish him off, but he ran off. I let him go for now. I knew he was powerless without his pencil. I then took the time to make sure I erased all of Doodlebob's Bikini Bottom and finally freed the rest of the fish that were at his base. We all started to make our way back to Bikini Bottom. On days 69 to 71, I returned to Bikini Bottom with all the fish that had been freed from Doodlebob's base. The fish started to settle into their homes. I found a great spot for my Krabby Patty statue to stay. Now everyone in Bikini Bottom can see it. I was almost done admiring my work when Plankton showed up with an army of robots. He was inside of a giant mech suit.
You are going to give me that formula, SpongeBob.
Never. He and his robots started to attack. I had defeated all of them once, so I knew I could do it again. I thought they would be no match for me now that I had full diamond armor and the pencil, but there were too many of them. I was beginning to be overrun when Plankton stepped in with his mech. He hit me really hard, and I could barely move. He then grabbed the formula from me. No!
I have the formula now, and the Krabby Patties are mine!
I was helpless as I watched him walk away with the formula. How could I have let this happen? On days 72 to 74, I made my way to the Krusty Krab to tell Mr. Krabs the bad news. Mr. Krabs, Plankton, he stole the formula, and I wasn't able to stop him.
Oh no, me boy. This is very bad.
I know, but
We need to get it back, me boy. If not, I'll lose all me money.
that's not even the worst part. He will know the secret ingredients, Mr. Krabs. This is gonna change everything.
Me money is more important. You need to go and get the secret ingredient before he does, SpongeBob.
But where do I find it, Mr. Krabs? You're the only one who knows what it is.
I get the secret ingredient at Skull Rock. You'll have to go there to grab it before Plankton figures out where it is.
Mr. Krabs gave me the coordinates to Skull Rock so I could retrieve the Krabby Patty secret ingredient for the Krabby Patties. I grabbed a few things and then left to go. On days 75 to 77, I arrived at Skull Rock. There was a giant shark head on the front of the huge castle. I made my way up the large staircase Patties and entered a dining room. I looked around, and finally I found some bottles in a chest labeled secret ingredients. This must be the secret ingredient for the Krabby Patties. I was getting ready to leave when suddenly a group of lizard people started to run at me. I was scared, so I started to hit them with my spatula. They attacked me at range and then would get close and knock me back. They were no match for my diamond spatula though. Take this! Down they went. Mr. Krabs never mentioned it was guarded by lizard people. I wonder why he left that out. Anyway, I had what I needed and started to make my way back to Bikini Bottom so we can start cooking our Krabby Patties again. On days 78 to 80, I returned to the Krusty Krab with the secret ingredients. I handed it to Mr. Krabs and he was extremely happy.
SpongeBob, you did it! Did you say hi to my lizard friends for me? They don't get company often.
Yeah, your friends. They were, great. Oh no. I ran back to my farm as fast as I could to gather the other ingredients for the Krabby Patties. I guess those lizard people were Mr. Krabs' friends. Yikes. I started to harvest all the lettuce, tomatoes, and onions I could carry. I then grabbed all the buns from the special seeds. I stopped by the cheese cows, and they gave me a bunch of cheese. It was cooking time. I started to make as many Krabby Patties as I could, and as fast as I was able to. In no time, the delicious smell of Krabby Patties was filling Bikini Bottom, and fish were swarming to the Krusty Krab like anchovies. We were selling them so fast, I could barely keep up. The Krusty Krab was back in business. The fish weren't the only ones who noticed, because in no time, Plankton was at the Krusty Krab.
Krabs, why is everyone eating these and not mine? You must have the secret ingredient.
He started to attack Mr. Krabs, but I stepped in. Hide the secret ingredient. I started to fight him off while Mr. Krabs ran off to the vault to hide it. I was able to distract him long enough for Mr. Krabs to get away.
Curses, SpongeBob! I will get you for this!
He ran back to the chum bucket. On days 81 to 85, I started by repairing the part of the Krusty Krab that was destroyed by Plankton. I was just finishing up when Doodlebob showed up and started to yell at me.
Me hi, me noi hi. Why people like your patty and not mine?
Because ours are made with love and a secret ingredient, Doodle.
People should like Doodlebob.
You don't have to be bad. You'll never make friends this way. But he didn't listen. He was so filled with rage that he started to attack me. I feel really bad for him. Stop, Doodlebob. Don't make me do this.
Doodle God!
I used his pencil and erased him for good. I felt really bad about what I had done. Just then, a group of fish arrived and started to cheer for me. I still didn't feel great about what I had done, but it seemed to make everyone else happy. On days 86 to 90, I returned to Sandy to see if she still needed anything else to get the rocket ready for Plankton.
Yes, we need to create fuel cells. Bye.
She started to go into detail, and I really wasn't sure what she was explaining. So I daydreamed about jellyfish in the jellyfish fields.
So I need you to go get me some more redstone and a few diamonds.
I'm on it, Sandy, no problem. I headed back into the cave and found more redstone and gathered 5 diamonds. I should have listened more to what she was saying. I hope it's gonna be enough. I returned to Sandy and gave her the redstones and diamonds.
This is perfect, SpongeBob. I was worried you were daydreaming about jellyfishing and didn't listen.
Me? Daydream about Of course not, Sandy. I was 100% listening. Sandy began working on the fuel cells while I finished up the rocket for her. She added them, and the rocket was ready for takeoff. Now all that was left was to break into the chum bucket and steal back the Krabby Patty formula. On days 91 to 94, I snuck into the chum bucket. I made sure the coast was clear before I entered the lab, where I assumed Plankton was analyzing the formula. As soon as I entered, I saw him.
Dang it! How does Krabs do it? Where is the ingredient?
I rushed outside, hoping he didn't spot me. I had to come up with a foolproof plan to distract him before I could steal the formula back. I had it. Pizza delivery.
It's about time. I ordered this about 31 minutes ago.
He rushed out of the lab and headed for the door of the chum bucket. I quickly ran inside and grabbed the formula, hoping I could get out before he returned. I spoke too soon because alarms in the chum bucket started to go off. Plankton came back, rushing in.
SpongeBob, I should have known.
He hopped into his mech suit and started to attack me. Luckily for me, I was fast and was able to get out of the lab, but he was right behind me. I used my pencil and hit his mech suit, totally destroying it. Ha! Take that, Plankton.
Curse you, SpongeBob!
I ran into the Krusty Krab and hid the formula into the vault.
I knew you could get this back for me.
On days 95 to 99, Mr. Krabs and I came up with a genius idea to trick Plankton onto the rocket. I went to my farm and gathered some regular wheat to make some bread. Afterwards, I grabbed some onion from the Krusty Krab freezer. With the wrong ingredients, we created a fake Krabby Patty, and it looked just like the real thing.
There's no way he can resist this.
Everyone knows a Krabby Patty needs lettuce, onion, and tomato, as well as a secret ingredient. But Plankton didn't know that. I then went to Sandy to make sure the rocket was prepped and ready. I knew we didn't have long. He would have another giant robot ready in no time.
We're almost there, SpongeBob. I just need a few more days for the fuel cells to stabilize, and be ready to go.
Since I had time, I decided to check up on Patrick, Squidward, and Gary. I delivered a Krabby Patty to Patrick, and then I spent some time with Gary. I then knocked on Squidward's door.
What do you want, SpongeBob?
I know I never found your clarinet, so I decided to make you one. Here you go.
This is just a stick.
Yes, but it's the thought that counts. He slammed the door in my face and went inside. Classic Squidward. This is it. Day 100. We moved the rocket outside of the chum bucket and got it prepared for launch.
Everything's good to go, SpongeBob. Yeehaw!
I threw the fake Krabby Patty on the rocket and went over to the chum bucket. I knocked on the door and Plankton answered.
What do you want, SpongeBob?
We know you wanted a Krabby Patty, so we left one over there for you.
Oh, thank you.
He ran over and before he grabbed it, he realized it was fake.
Curse SpongeBob?
Suddenly, he transformed into his giant robotic mech. Oh no. Plankton and I started a battle.
SpongeBob, give me the formula.
Never, Plankton. We started a fight. I had to weaken his robot suit so I would be able to get him on the rocket. He was hitting hard, but I'd come a long way since the first time we met. I was able to weaken him enough to use my pencil and erase his suit.
You'll never stop me. I will come back for the formula.
Good luck coming back for this. I hit him with my spatula and flipped him onto the rocket. Now, Sandy. Sandy closed the doors to the rocket and initiated the launch sequence.
Curse you, SpongeBob!
And that was it. We officially saved the Bikini Bottom. On day 1, I spawned in as a minion. I couldn't wait to see what kind of trouble I can get up to out here. Exploring secret labs, stealing high-tech weapons, and hanging out with my minion friends. But for now, I only have 5 hearts. Looking around, it seemed like I'd spawn into a forest. I began this adventure like any other, punching trees for wood. I crafted wooden tools and, feeling confident, set off to find my new evil leader. Oh look, a snake! Would you like my help taking over the world? The snake didn't seem too interested and attacked. This guy's bite was deadly. I was already down to 1 heart. You're a jerk. I was getting hungry. I need food. A village. There were pillagers everywhere. I had to try to not draw their attention. No way I could take these guys on yet. Guess they won't mind if I rummage through their chests real quick. TNT? Awesome. And what's this? No way. Bananas! I just finished looting when the pillagers found me. Hey guys, friends? Guess not. They attacked, chasing me out of the pillager outpost. They almost got me, but I used my small size to zigzag my way through the undergrowth and escaped. Alone again. I realized it was getting late. I couldn't just sleep in the open air, so I mined into a nearby hill and blocked up the entrance. I grabbed some stone from the back of the cave and spent the rest of the evening upgrading my tools. I guess this is my home for the night. On day 2, I woke up, feeling awfully uncomfortable having slept on the floor. I didn't feel like facing those pillagers again, so I got to exploring the cave. Sweet! A couple blocks of iron ore. And what's this? Coal. I'll use these to start my base. Huh? What's that noise? Wait, it's a huge bear. No, bears? I smashed through the entrance wall and booked it, leaving the bears far behind. Jeez, I needed a place to call my own, and fast. After a little bit of searching, I found a nice secluded valley. It was full of sheep. Perfect. I spent some time collecting food and wool to keep myself fed and eventually make a bed. Let's see. No hostile mobs in sight. No villagers. No snakes. This is the perfect area to build my base in. I got to work using the materials I'd gathered to start on my base. I hope I can find others like me and bring them back here. After I'd finished, I used some excess iron to make myself a sword. The remaining coal was used to light up the night. There we are. Perfect. I finally had a place to call home. I was about to head in when I heard a familiar hissing. You, take that! Haha! Vengeance is mine. Last but not least, I built myself a bed and went to sleep. On day 3, I woke up. Wait, what was that smell? I ran outside and saw it. No way. It's a banana! I went to grab it when I saw more bananas? A whole bunch of bananas leading away from my base. Whoever left this trail must have finally wanted to be my friend. I followed the bananas around the corner where they led me into a pig pen. Hey pigs, are you the ones who gave me these delicious... Wait, it's a trap! The pillagers had me surrounded. The pillagers started to attack me. I know we got off on the wrong foot here. I don't want to hurt you. But they didn't listen. I'm gonna have to fight. They hit hard, but I was able to stand against them, even taking one down. Seeing that I was deadly, the rest of the pillagers fled. They left the pigs. I may as well take them too. Come on, guys. I returned to base, careful to make sure that I wasn't followed. I got my pig friends settled in their own pens. I knew that these bananas were as valuable as gold, so I got to work planting them for my banana farm. What? It works. Trust me. On day 4, I woke up to an explosion. Whoa! Now, whoever did that I've got to meet. I ran towards the sound and found what looked like a mad science lab, and it was on fire. I ran inside and saw a mad scientist being attacked by a group of robot chickens. I've got you. I drew my sword and leapt into the fight. Get back. Leave him alone. The chickens took off, running into the wilderness. Come on, scientists. This place is about to blow. We made it out just in time. The whole lab went up into a huge explosion.
Oh no, a doomsday weapon could cause so much damage.
Doomsday weapon? Now you're speaking my language. Don't be upset. You can come live with me. I took the scientist back to my base and showed him around.
It's perfect. Once my lab is complete, how would you like to be my evil minion?
Yes, that's all I've wanted. Now let's take over the world together. The scientist introduced himself as Gru. Pleasure to meet you. Let's get your lab going. I can't wait. I spent the rest of the day helping Gru by building his own house. I even took some time to expand my base to house some of his evil experiments. Finally, I have an evil leader to call my own. On day 5, I had the worst nightmare. I was standing in a ruined city. There was a huge crashed rocket in the center of town, and from it came purple minions? No, evil purple minions. I tried to get them to stop, but they didn't care. They started attacking me as well.
Go, my evil minions! Unleash your inner villains!
It was a professor. He was in a huge mech. So you're destroying the city.
Not just the city, but every city across the globe! Ha 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 ha!
You can't do that to us. But he just laughed and aimed his mech guns right at me. Ah! I'm awake. Oh, and back in my base. Man, I had too much bananas before bed. I ventured out into the forest and found myself picking dandelions. Wait, this gives me an idea. I returned home and began building a beacon of hope. A monolith to minions everywhere that I stand for their freedom. I crushed the dandelions and used the yellow dye to color my sheep. I sheared them and, armored with my new materials, looked for a place to build it. Where to build? Somewhere people can see. Aha! The top of that tree will do nicely. I climbed my way to the top and got to work. Can you guess what this is gonna be? On day 6, I woke early to keep working on my statue when I heard the sound of a fight. I ran outside to see the pillagers from earlier attacking my base. Hey, leave us alone. What have we done to you? I can't let them get away with this. Help! Gru joined me in the battle. He had a shrink ray. With a flash, the pillagers were made tiny. Looks like the turns have been tabled. Ha! With the pillagers defeated, I leveled up. I'm stronger now. Check it out. I'm normal sized, and I have 10 hearts. Wait, with the pillagers gone, we can finish ransacking their town. I headed over there, checking every house and chest. I found some iron and some gold. I'll take that and keep it for myself. With the town looted, I grabbed the rest of the potatoes and headed back home. I built some chests to keep my treasures safe. I expanded my farm and planted the potatoes next to my bananas. On day 7, I wanted to continue upgrading my tools. I had an iron sword, sure, but a whole set of tools and armor would definitely come in handy. Luckily, I found a nearby cave and it was full of the stuff. There were a few zombies in the way, but I took them out easily. I got to work mining as much iron as I can carry. I was about to leave when I saw the distant glint of diamond? Awesome! I headed down to grab it. Wait, what's that noise? Look at all those chickens! My sword swings barely put a dent in them. Jeez, I'll have to come back for that diamond later. With my iron in hand, I made it back to my base and got to work upgrading my tools. Once I had a full set, I went to show off my new gear to Gru. He was not impressed. Well, I know he loves me. On day 8, I was feeling brave with my iron armor, so I went out to explore the nearby biomes. I crossed out of the forest and headed up a nearby mountain. It was getting cold up here. Is that a tundra? I'll have to check this place out later. I was about to start mining into the mountain when I saw something in the distance. Is that a purple me? Oh, wait, my dream. Get back here. But it ran away. I chased the purple minion down the side of the mountain when I saw it fighting something. There was a player there, and they were attacking the purple minion. Don't worry, I'm on my way. But I was too late. The evil minion killed them.
Weak banana, me strong, buff and beefy.
What happened to you? Who did this?
Professor N, he best. Make me strong. Me Mike. Mike destroy weak banana.
It attacked. This thing was insane. I tried my best to fight back, but I couldn't take those hits. I had to retreat.
Unfair, get back here. I'm stronger, much stronger.
I headed back to base to rest up. That evil me worried me though. On day 9, it was time to teach those robot chickens a lesson. Plus, that diamond was too good to just ignore. Let's see how my new armor handles them. I made my way back to the mine and cautiously made my way down. There they were. A few swings of my sword and down they went. He dropped something. Spectral ore? I wonder if Gru can make use of this. With the robot chickens destroyed, I began to mine the diamond. What? Only 2? It'll do for now. Out of the mine and back to the base, I began to upgrade my armor and tools. I crafted the diamonds into a diamond sword. Before the end of the day, I made sure to give Gru the spectral ore.
How curious. The energy coming from this thing is off the charts. Thanks for this, minion. You did a good job.
That's all I wanted. did. Happy to help. On day 10, Drew wanted to check out the nearby city, and I decided to tag along. Something's attacking it. We ran further in, seeing destruction, and suddenly, a massive robot fell from the sky. No, not a robot.
Well, if it isn't my old pal Gru. Still mad I kicked you out of the evil villain society.
What have you done to my people?
My serum makes every minion into a perfect weapon. This one is just the beginning. When I have my army, nothing will stop me.
An army? So there's more of me? I didn't get a chance to think because just then he attacked us. His robot was tough, but slow. Come on, Gru. We can't take this thing. We booked it out of town, losing Nefario. For now, at least, there was nothing that we could do. On days 11 to 12, we were back at our own base. Gru told me that he would need to find more of me, and that we also needed to build a bigger and better laboratory. Anything, sir, especially if it means stopping those evil minions. It took some time, but eventually I finished the lab. I had some leftover material from the mine and figured what better way to use it than to upgrade my base. I got to work, turning my house into something much more comfortable. I gathered more yellow wool and put some more work into my statue, and now towered over the valley. I hope this works. On days 13 to 14, I awoke to the laboratory's alarms going off. Are we under attack? I ran outside to find a minion. He was trying to eat my bananas from my banana tree. Hey, how's it going? I bet that doesn't taste very nice. He said his name was Bob. He had traveled very far looking for help, and he was starving. I gave him some bananas, and he felt much better. He told me that he was from a small group of minions who lived in the tundra. They'd accidentally killed their last leader and had been hiding out in a cave ever since. Don't worry, Bob. I can rescue them. Just give me directions. Bob handed me a map. Jeez, that's a long way. I better stock up. Before I left, I gave Bob his own bed and told him to help Gru with whatever he needed. You know it, new boss. I began my long journey out of the forest and towards the tundra on his map. Hope he doesn't eat all my bananas. On days 15 to 16, I kept going, traveling as fast as I could out of the forest and into the tundra. Man, it was cold. So cold, in fact, that my hearts were starting to go down. It was getting dark, so I realized I need to make myself a small shelter. Luckily, there was some stone left in my inventory, so I quickly built a small hut to keep myself warm. After I built my hut, I realized I was still cold, so I went out and killed a couple of cows and used the leather to make myself some new clothes. Look at that. Now I should be warm. I don't know how long I slept for, but I awoke to something attacking my hut. It was a group of strays. They attacked me. I can't fight that many by myself. I have to run. Man, I hope this map is right. I can't stay out here for too long. On days 17 to 18, I was hopelessly lost. This map is useless. How did I even get here? Is this it? Is this how I go out, frozen and alone, and with no bananas? Wait, what's that? It was polar bears. Well, I got my sword ready and was about to attack when arrows flew out of nowhere and hit the polar bears. Whoa, wait, more minions. There were 2 of them. Stuart, I'm glad to see you. Did you come from the cave? Can you take me there? Well, lead the way. The base was warm, but surprisingly empty. Where is everybody? Stuart introduced me to the other minion who lived here, Kevin, and they both told me that there had once been a whole bunch of us who lived here, but an evil professor was paying the pillagers to kidnap them. Kevin and Stuart were all that was left. Well, I suppose we are minions after all. Anyway, here's some bananas. After all that cold, I decided to celebrate with my new friends. They wanted to do a dance party. I can't resist. Dance party! On days 19 to 20, Stuart woke me up. Robots were attacking the cave. I drew my diamond sword. They just turned around and took off. Guess I'm buffer than I look, huh? Aren't you Kevin? Wait, you're right. Where is he? We searched all over the cave, but couldn't find him. Those robots must have taken him. We have to get him back. Come on, Stuart. Before we left the cave, Stuart gave me what little supplies they had left. A potion of swiftness and TNT. We followed the robots' tracks out to the snow, keeping our eyes peeled for any traps that they'd left behind. Don't worry, Kevin. We're on our way. On days 21 to 23, we followed the robots far across the tundra. After a while, we eventually caught up to them. They were camped out in a ruined village. Wait, they have more of us in cages. What are they doing? We snuck up behind the robot, careful to keep as quiet as possible. Stuart and I snuck around the village, opening the cages. In the last cage, we found Kevin. Good to see you, buddy. Suddenly, the robots saw what was happening. Go, guys, go! Luckily, the robots were caught off guard, and by the time they started chasing us, we were gone. We were about to make it to the minion town. We had barely finished congratulating ourselves when Nefario appeared in his mech.
I ought to thank you, Fozo. You rounded them all up, and now I don't have to pay those pesky robots.
Before we could attack, Nefarious fired his weapons, blasting us away. No, the other minions! Come on, guys, we have to save them. On days 24 to 26, we rested up at the cave and we're heading back to the lab. We tried to keep an eye out for the minions, but they were long gone. At least I've got Kevin and Stuart. We'd almost left the tundra when suddenly the robots returned. Hey guys, I'm really not in the mood right now. Come on, guys, I could take all of you on. I chased them and tricked them. They all fell into a ravine. Whoa, that's deep. How long has that been there? Suddenly, I felt stronger, and I have 15 hearts now. After the fight, I gathered my friends. I wanted to bring them back to my lab. We'll save the rest of the minions soon, I promise. On days 27 to 29, come on guys, let me introduce you to your new home. Drew was super excited to have more minions.
Now we can get to work, Fozo. Thank you.
I got the other minions settled in, building out some houses to accommodate them. Some bunk beds, some extra chests. With that taken care of, I finished my own home. I turned in, exhausted from my long journey, and I've still got 70 days to go. What could possibly happen next? On days 30 to 32, I realized we need some more food if I wanted to keep rescuing more minions. Come on, Bob, let's go hunting. We got to work harvesting our pigs right before we heard an explosion and saw one of our banana trees mutated into a monster. It must have been from the radioactive lab experiments Crew's been doing. The monster ate Bob. I leapt into battle and fought it off. It was defeated and Bob was free. It also let out some bananas. Bob looked injured, so I gave him some of the bananas. I got back to work on my statue, hoping it would serve as a warning to any more minion hunters. On days 33 to 35, Gru called all of us to the lab.
Production is going well, but I need a schematic for the robot's engine. I bet Dr. Nefario has one at his mansion.
I can scope it out for you. Gru told me that the mansion was in a nearby forest, but I had to be careful as it was heavily guarded. No sweat. I'll be back in time for dinner. Besides, it'd give me a chance to find the rest of the minions he kidnapped. I went off. After a day's travel, I found the forest. Is that a sign? What does it say? No evil mansion here. Go away. I was about to head in when I noticed a trap door in the ground. Whoa, that's a bottomless pit. Someone doesn't like visitors. Suddenly, I heard the sounds of battle. It was the evil minion again. He was attacking a monkey. I jumped in to defend them, but my attacks just bounced off of him.
Weak sauce. Kill trespass. No enter.
I have an idea. Follow me, evil dude. I led him to the trap. I hope this guy was dumb as he looked. And down he goes. It probably won't kill him, but at least he's out of the way. Well, hopefully he'll leave you alone now. The monkey thanked me and gave me a bunch of cornflowers? Thanks, I guess? With the flowers they'd given me, I continued on. I spent days 36 to 38 dodging traps and making my way further into the forest. Whoa, a spike pit. I knew I had to be getting close to that mansion. I broke through the tree line and found myself into a clearing. And there was the mansion. Drew was right. It was heavily guarded. No way was I getting through there. They had turrets, spike pits, security guards, and even a row of rose bushes. No way we're getting past those thorns. I harvested the roses and crushed them into red dye. This I crushed with the blue flowers I got to create purple. I think I have a plan, and this may work.
Welcome back, henchman. You have a good patrol?
Banana.
Huh, you said it. Head on in, sir.
I was in. Now to find the engine schematic I needed. But wait, what's that noise? I know that sound. It's coming from over there. It's the minions from the village. Don't worry, guys. I'll get those cages open. There has to be a switch somewhere. Got it. Okay, now please be quiet and... No! I've got to be quick before the alarm goes off. Great. On days 39 to 41, we stormed the mansion. The minions on a quest for revenge. Guys, focus. We need to grab the schematic and get out of here. I frantically looked through all the chests I could find, but kept coming up empty. History books, biology, cooking? Come on. Suddenly, I was attacked from behind. It was the evil minion. He was back. This is taking too long. It was then I remembered. The TNT steward gave me back in the tundra. I started to spread some around the room, and once I lit it, the explosion went off. The blast was stronger than I thought, blowing the whole roof off the place. I was down on my last heart, but it seemed like the other minions were safe. Wait, there it is. The schematic. It's a little singed, but it'll do. Come on, minions. Leave that guy alone, and let's get out of here. On days 42 to 44, the minions and myself made it back to the lab, staying low in case the evil minion wanted to try and follow us. We arrived back at base. I gave the schematics to Gru. He declared my mission as a success.
And you brought me some more minions. Now we can quadruple our mining efforts and speed up production.
Good idea, boss. Come on, guys. To the mines. With the extra help, we were able to clear a huge section of the mine and found a ton more diamond. I showed the other minions how to mine for diamond after grabbing some for myself, of course. I got to work on my base. Drew asked to help expanding his lab. We need the extra space. I knew that by wrecking the professor's mansion, it would definitely make him angry, so I got to work on a wall to keep us safe. With the base upgraded, I got to work on the living quarters for all the other minions. I then continued working on my statue. That looks delicious. Oh, hey Bob, what's up? Bob told me that the other minions spotted the professor taking some minions away for experiments, and they'd come back as evil minions. We better get to work. On days 45 to 46, I awoke to another summon from Gru.
Thank you all for your hard work, minions. Our robots are almost complete. We only need one last thing.
He explained he needed an experimental weapons chip from a nearby military base, and he told us it would be a shame if it went missing. Missing? But don't we need it for our robot?
I mean, go and steal it for me, you damn dimwits.
Oh, got it. I figured I needed backup on this one. Come on, Kevin. It's just a military base. How hard could it be? We hadn't gone far when we saw smoke in the distance. It was a destroyed village. Everything had been ransacked, burned, and broken. We found one lone villager who told us a wave of purple creatures that swept through the countryside, destroying everything. We need to hurry, Kevin. If this is what a group of them could do to a town, imagine what an army can do to a city. We told the villager where to find a nearby city and pushed on. We had just made it to the desert when we saw a few husks. Hey guys, what's up? Wow, those purple guys are really messing with everyone. We have to stop them and fast. It's gonna be a little tough from here on out, Kevin. Days 47 to 50 saw us making our way across the desert. After what felt like days of traveling, we saw something strange in the distance. Is it a mirage? No, it's a crashed rocket, sort of like the one from my dream. What's it doing out here? We ran over to it and saw other minions. They must have escaped from the professor in one of those rockets. Nicely done. I was about to head over and greet them when I saw him. The professor, he'd caught up with them. He's shooting them with something. Slime? And they're transforming. I want to stop him, but I knew that Kevin and I couldn't take on that many evil minions. All I could do was watch as he led them away. At least they're not heading into the same direction we are. I waited for them to leave before heading over and dipping my shovel in the slime. Gru would probably want to take a look at this. Maybe we can make a cure? We pushed on until we saw what we came for, the military base. It looks like it's already being attacked. I bet there's an evil minion or two running around here. Still, there were plenty of holes in the fences for us to fit through. Now, let's try not to blow this place sky high, at least before we can find that weapons chip. On days 51 to 53, we made our way around the base, careful not to be spotted. Now, if I was a super secret military grade weapon chip, where would I be? Right here. Cool, I snagged it. Happy to get it over with. When the most intimidating sheep I'd ever seen appeared. Stand down, officer. I'm General Fozo. I'm here to check on this chip. Yep, it looks good. Run, Kevin! Go! But the dude was super fast, and he stunned us. The chip, grab it. No, I didn't know how long we were stunned for, but we got locked into a cage. The general sheep just laughed and walked away. Maybe I can dig our way out, huh? He took my inventory. Well, sing us a tune, Kevin. I'm sure we'll find a way out. At least, I hope. On days 54 to 56, we had just exhausted our supply of sing-along songs when the general sheep came back. He accused us of being spies and ordered Kevin to follow him. Alone in my cell, I didn't know how long I was alone in there, but I suddenly saw something crawling over my foot. What is that? Ooh, kill it. It was Bob. How did you get in here? He had Gru's shrink ray. Brilliant. Come on, Bob. Let's get out of here. We shrunk ourselves down and slipped through the bars. If we followed that soldier, I bet he still has that chip. It took a bit of searching, but we eventually found ourselves back in the room from earlier. The general was there, and so was Kevin. It looked like he snatched the chip back and was trying to hide. Hey, you leave Kevin alone. Make us big again, Bob. Come on. Whoa, that's too big. I was huge. Look out, guys. I don't want to step on anyone. I think I just killed the general. Oops. Back to normal size, I opened the general's chest and took back my gear. Come on, guys. We need to get out of here. On days 57 to 59, we made it back to where we'd snuck in to find it sealed off. As if this wasn't bad enough. We saw who had been attacking the base before we got there. It was a group of evil minions. Time for us to get out of here and fast. So much for doing this quietly. Suddenly, Kevin activated the shrink ray and grew himself. Kevin, they can see you. But he didn't care. He made us a hole in the fence, creating an escape route. We ran through, but he didn't follow me, instead turning back towards the base. Kevin, don't be a hero. As much as I hated to leave him behind, I knew we had no choice. Come on, Bob. We ran out into the desert. Come on, Kevin. Come on. Where are you? He died as he lived. A flash of beautiful, explosive brilliance. Before we headed out, I built a small memorial for our fallen friend. Farewell, Kevin. He's peeling bananas in Minion Paradise now. At least we had the chip. With one last look towards the horizon, we headed off. On days 60 to 62, we made it back out of the desert. I know, Bob. I miss him too. But don't worry. We'll avenge him, I promise. Suddenly, the evil minion came out of nowhere, knocking us flying. Where did he come from? Wait, the chip. The evil minion has it. He's getting away. Bob, head back to the base and make sure it's safe. I'll handle this evil minion. Even though he was fast, that evil minion must have been injured by the base explosion, and I was able to keep up. I chased him across the biome and ran into the wetlands. Wait, up ahead. Is that the professor? I decided to lay low. What are they talking about?
You imbecile. You let that Fozo get away. How much more useless can you be?
Banana?
And shut up about your stupid bananas.
That poor evil minion. He needs a better evil master. The professor teleported away. I was about to leave when the evil minion saw me. Hey, I saw how he treated you, and that isn't right. You did your best. Here, I heard you wanted one of these.
Banana?
Banana!
Yes, a banana of friendship. Enjoy it. Now, can I go? I'm going to follow your boss. He was too interested in the banana to care. I hope he stays that way. On days 63 to 65, I was able to track the professor through the wetlands. What's that he's heading towards? It looks like a huge factory. It must be where he's making all those evil minions. Wait, why has he stopped moving? He's checking his phone. Now's my chance to steal the chip back. Got it. Now to... But the professor turned around and he saw me. Look, over there. Oh, no.
End of the line. Hope you like the color purple.
I guess this is it. Wait, why isn't he firing?
Banana!
Stop it, you idiot. I don't have any more bananas.
The evil minion was attacking the professor. Now's my chance. I used a distraction to slip away, stealthily making my way across the wetlands. I wonder if he's my friend now? I was almost back to my base when I was illuminated by an eerie glow. Wait, no way. Kevin! He'd survived. Nice look. But why are you all green? Kevin said he was affected by the explosion, making him radioactive. Bob's gonna be stoked. Come on days 66 to 68, we are almost back at the lab when it's the professor again. He's on our tail. We can't lead him back to our base. Ah, I'm hit. He has the chip. No, I wanted to chase after him, but I was too weak. All we could do was watch him run away. We decided to head back to the lab and keep an eye out for the village along the way. But as we made our way to the base, all we saw was destruction. Any survivors we met spoke of the purple monsters wrecking everything they'd built. This isn't good, Kevin. We need to get back. On days 69 to 71, we made it back to the base and we saw it was under attack. Evil minions were attacking the walls. Luckily, the base's turrets were able to hold them off at bay and we were able to slip inside. Once back home, I ate my body weight in bananas, feeling much better. There wasn't much time to rest before Gru arrived. He'd figured out the spectral ore from earlier. He was able to harness its energy and use it to turbocharge the factory.
With your help, we can finish building our laboratory. The robots are almost complete.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have the chip. The professor took it.
We'll deal with that in a few days' time. I might have planned to get it back.
Wait, before we do, I got a sample of what the professor is using to transform the minions. Maybe you can find a way to change them back? Gru got to work making the cure. I got to work finishing the base, using the extra energy from the spectral ore to build out the rest of our factory. I continue to fortify our defenses into the night. On days 72 to 74, I put the final touches on my statue. Check it out. I might cry. Our admiration was interrupted by an explosion. It's coming from the lab. An evil minion? And he was in a different mech.
Fozo! He has the spectral ore!
Get back here! But it was too fast. No! Now that the professor has both the weapons chip and the spectral ore, what are we going to do? Luckily, Gru told me that he tagged the ore with the tracking device. All I had to do was follow it. Yes, sir. On days 75 to 77, we followed the signal a short way to the side of the mountain. Talk about cardio. Come on, Bob, keep up. It looks like he used that mech to tunnel his way through. I wonder what's on the other side. We passed through the tunnel and found ourselves in a lush valley, and there, in the center, that must be Nefario's base. We watched as the evil minion ran inside. Jeez, yet another base we're going to have to break into. I'd asked Gru for a raise, but I wasn't even getting paid. I spent some time trying to find a way in without being spotted, but by the end of the day, it was apparent that this wouldn't be easy. I admire your creativity, Bob, but let's try to blow it up after we've stolen our stuff back. Maybe Gru has an idea? Come on, Bob. Let's head back home and think this one through. We snuck back out of the tunnel and made it back to the lab.
Well, now we know where he is staging everything. And you said it's in a valley, yes? That gives me an idea.
I'm not sure if I like that tone, boss, but whatever it is, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Meet me outside, Flozo, and make sure you have a helmet on.
Oh, boy. On days 78 to 80, I was flying high. Literally. Don't let go. And don't look down. Luckily, the weather held, and I was over the base before any storms hit. Just then, a bird appeared. No. Get away. Don't touch that. No. I should have worn a helmet, like Gru said. I wonder where I landed. I looked around and saw that I was in a minion prison. No. Look how many there are. How long has he been kidnapping us for? This isn't right. I have to free them. There has to be a console around here. I searched all over, but couldn't find one. I still needed to find the ore and the chip. On days 81 to 85, I made my way through the base, looking for a way to free them. Wait, is that the chip? Awesome. It was protected by a laser grid, though. I didn't want to set off any alarms, so I would have to use my platforming skills to go up and over. Wait, I've only got 19 days left? No time for that. I decided to run through the lasers. I grabbed the chip and ran. Things were heating up. I needed to free my friends. I've been running around this base for what felt like days. Where's the terminal when you need one?
Banana!
He attacked, trying to ram me. His mech broke through the wall. Oh, do you want another banana? Here, have as many as you want. But he didn't care. He just kept trying to run me over. Wait, this gives me an idea. Follow me. I led him back to the prison and stood in front of a cage. Stand back, guys. Yes! His mech smashed open the cages.
Escape? No, no, no. More evil, more evil.
The evil minion jumped out of the mech and pressed the switch. No, it's that jam again. It's transforming the minions. I had to escape, so I jumped in the mech and smashed through the wall. Hang on. This mech is powered by the spectral ore. 2 birds with 1 stone. Now that we had a power source in the chip, I knew we could save the day. On days 86 to 90, I made it out of the tunnel when the ground started shaking and there was a crazy loud noise overhead. I looked up and saw it's a rocket and it's heading towards the city. If we don't stop him, those evil minions are going to swarm across the earth, destroying everything. Think of the children. Wait, even worse. Think of the bananas. Gru, I got it, but we have to hurry. But when I got there, I saw evil minions inside the lab. Even here? Oh man, I decided to fight back.
Kevin, Stuart, help!
How dare you say those names? Just then, Gru ran in. He told me to stop. These are my friends. Apparently, they found the jam sample and ate it. Oh, sorry for the bruises, guys, but Gru, we need a cure more than ever.
I still need more time. Get that mech into the lab and let's see if I can reverse engineer it.
I parked the mech and got to work aiming the minions with tools, weapons, and armor. Come on, guys. Prepare for war. On days 91 to 94, the antidote was ready. Time to test it out. I gave some to each of my friends, and it worked. Good to have you back, guys. Well, now that I know this works, we need to get it out of here. That rocket I saw, that was heading towards the city. Then that's where I'll start. I grabbed the jar of healing jam and headed off. By the time I made it to the city, it was in complete chaos. The evil minions are rampaging through it. How am I going to give all that antidote to all those minions? I have an idea. I got to work building a small fruit stand. Now to just smear the antidote on bananas and done. Hey guys, free lunch. I know you can't pass up on a tasty banana.
Banana? Banana!
It worked. That's right, guys. All you can eat. Once again, the day is saved by a high potassium snack. It happens more often than you think. On days 95 to 98, I was leading the minions back to the lab when Nefario appeared in his mech.
How dare you? Those are my minions!
We choose our own evil leader, Nefario, and you're not it.
You think you've won? Ha! All it takes is one press of a button and a rocket will obliterate your pathetic base.
My base? No, I'll stop you. Suddenly, someone attacked Nefario from behind. It was that evil minion. He knocked him out of his mech, but he teleported out. Hey, thanks for what you did back there. Why did you help us?
Fozo, friend, here, banana.
You're still a minion at heart. Still, I don't like the sound of that threat. Come on, guys, back to the lab. And for you, evil minion, welcome to the family. On days 99, we returned to the base. I got the new minion situated and met up with Gru.
So he's going to attack us, is he? Well, I do have a surprise for him.
Behold, the banana launcher!
This is awesome. If I fuse the bananas and the antidote, we can cure evil minions like never before. It was time to get prepping. We geared up the new recruits and started harvesting the bananas from the farm to use in the launcher. The day was already fading fast. Hey, do you want me to turn you back, by the way?
Change? No. Happy as me.
Are you sure?
Life not problem, but experience. Banana.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't argue with that. It was finally here. Day 100. True to his word, the professor arrived with an army of evil minions. All right, guys, let's go. The banana launcher was awesome. Every minion I hit was transformed back. I needed to think bigger. And what's bigger than an explosion? I coated some TNT in the antidote. Hope this works. Any evil minion caught in the blast was transformed back. We did it. But that just left me with Nefario. Come on, let's do this.
You've been nothing but a pest, Fozo. Eat laser!
I jumped around, dodging his laser blasts and firing bananas at him. Suddenly, the evil minion appeared, driving the mech we stole. He's crashed into Nefario. Nice work. Okay, Fozo, aim for the engine.
No!
And boom! Since the professor was finally defeated, time for a banana party.